All right, lesson 11. Thank you for tuning in. Today we are talking about page 34 and 35 in the adult all-in-one course, Alfred's Basic Adult Piano Level 1. We're on page 34-35 dealing with introducing B for the left hand. So far, everything we've played has been in this C position. Right hand in what they call middle C position, but it's just with your thumb on middle C. And the rest of your fingers going up. Left hand is an octave below that. But today we are learning how to take our left hand pinky and move it down a note. Everything else stays the same. That's the new big thing today. Is using your pinky to play Jaws. No. It's your pinky. That's it. So if you look at the line of bass clef with a repeat sign, that's it. So now what you're doing here is arpeggiating a chord that they're going to teach you right here. It's called the G7 chord. There's a lot of information that gives, the G7. But right now we're just going to understand it as that feeling in our left hand of a second right here. And then the pinky, we haven't learned a sixth yet, but that's a sixth, that's a fifth. And remember, if you make it a little bit larger, the interval increases. It's just measuring distance. And if I have two notes and I increase the distance between them by lowering the lower one further, then it's going to increase. If we know that's a second, third, fourth, fifth, that's a sixth. But that's not the real takeaway here. The takeaway is that your pinky moves. So you have a C chord, C triad, C, E, and G. The G7, B, F, G. Back to the C triad. Now if you compare this measure here to this measure down here, the first measure of the first line of music on page 34, compared that with the first measure of the last line of the C chord at the very bottom. In the left hand here up top you're playing C, E, G. Here you're playing C, E, G. Well, that's the same. It's just this is what they call a block chord. And this is what they call arpeggiated. The chord is arpeggiated into the individual notes. Instead of playing all together, they staggered them out. Each one was played individually. And then the same as the next one, the B, F, and G in the left is the same as the B, F, and G there. So that's block chord, arpeggiated, arpeggiated. So, we learned a new thing on page 35 as well. Oh, with 34, play this exercise on the bottom a whole bunch of times. You can even take off the very first measure and just play the G7 measure and the C measure and then repeat it. So you just get used to doing this. Just do this so much that you can't mess this up, that your fingers and your pinky goes down and you move from finger 3 to finger 2 in the middle just without even being aware of it. You just want to do it so much. And you can do it this way too. You just want to, that's all you're doing is just getting used to this and getting it to be second nature where you aren't thinking about it. So that's what I would practice on page 34. And just memorize that is your C major chord. That is your G7 chord. So now on the top of page 35, we say tied notes. When notes are on the same line or the same space, and they're joined with a curved line, those are called tied notes. And what that means is you hold the note for the value of both of them put together. You just keep holding. There's no replaying of the note. So if I wanted to make a really long note that's 8 beats long, that's 2 whole notes. Remember, whole notes are 4 beats each, right? So 1 whole note, 2 whole notes. I would make a little line connecting the 2 of them, and they would have to be on the same line or the same space. If they're on different lines or spaces, then you can't hold the same note for 8 counts if it's not the same note. So they have to be same line or same space. But then you're just going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, but hold the whole time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Ties are that easy. They just hold the value longer, whatever the duration of the next tied note. I mean, you could have a whole note, right, tied to a half note, tied to a quarter note, and that would be 4 plus 2 plus 1, so it would be a total of 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, off. So that's what a tie does. Merrily We Roll Along, that is the song on the top half of page 35. You should pause this and practice that song, but before you do, a few things to note here. Now, be very careful. The left hand has piano marking. The right hand has mezzo forte marking. So that means your right hand is going to play the melody medium loud. Your left hand is going to play the accompaniment softly. That way the melody is the focal point, the accompaniment is the background or secondary feature. So pause and practice that song. Alright, hopefully you practiced well, and I will play it for you now. There's no repeat. Make sure you hold the value of those 4 beats for the whole note at the end, all the way through. So the whole thing again sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, off. Alright, largo, slow. This melody is also known as going home. So we don't have a repeat sign. This piece again has mezzo forte or medium loud in the right hand, piano in the left. Now remember, on the top song, measures 1 and 2 in the left hand were tied together. Measure 3 and 4 were not. But look at this one. Measure 1 and 2 are tied together. Measures 3 and 4 are tied together. So the left hand is not the same as it was above. Be very careful what you play there. Pause it and practice. And I will play it now. Yes. So that concludes lesson 11. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you have questions about the G7 chord or the C chord or anything, please feel free to ask. And have to take a look here. Here's page 34. And page 35. And that's what a tie looks like, right? And just down here, that's the tie. So take a look.